And then I'm going to go in here. I'm going to share it out there. Let everybody know we're live. Okay. Mute that. Oh, damn it. Just copy it for now. Okay. Yeah, so I was thinking just because of the Olympics is going on, we'll cover that Olympic one first.
Sounds good. I didn't get that fully trimmed down, but it's cut up a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. But the big thing is the COVID cases, man. Holy shit. That's serious business.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do the COVID case one first. We've got to turn off my watches and keep beeping.
And you said you discussed on Thursday the Support Act already once. Did you want to just maybe cover the GPI thing then instead, or? We
can kind of cover the GPI one, but then always reference that, hey, man, don't forget about this shit.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, Shy's in the house? Carnage, of course. But yes, let's do the Tokyo one right now. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right, guys, welcome to the low. The fuck you, boys. I already started off wrong. Let's see if we can change some minds tonight. What's up on the low tonight, Mia?
Well, tonight the I don't know why I messed up just as bad. Okay. Tonight we're going to be talking about how the Olympic host Tokyo's daily COVID cases rose to 3,177, a second high in a row on Wednesday. I don't know what they're at today. I did not look that number up, but I probably should have. The Olympic host city Tokyo recorded 3,170 new COVID-19 cases on Wednesday, hitting a daily record high for a second straight day. The previous high was the day before at 2,848. The games are taking place under unprecedented conditions, including a ban on spectators in most venues. Governors of 3 prefectures near Tokyo will ask the government to declare states of emergency for their regions. And before Tokyo's latest numbers were announced, cases were expected to rise in coming days still, as testing may have been delayed over holidays last week. Which, were there holidays last week?
Maybe in Japan.
In Japan, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've entered a trend of sharp rises in cases, which I had feared the most. The governor of Kanagawa prefecture said prefecture near Tokyo told reporters. Kanagawa and nearby Chiba and Saitama prefectures are seeing cases jump as well. So this is bad news for for all of Japan, really, but for the Olympics in particular.
Yeah, there's specific ones too for the games themselves. There's 16 new cases just for people that are there, not just people in the city, but just the Olympians and the support staff. And they have frequent testing. They have very strict rules there in Japan and in the games, and yet 16 new cases spiraled up. And could you imagine being the host this year? And I think last year was supposed to be in China, I believe. Beijing or something. I can't remember, but they got canceled. Yeah, and the whole thing of the Olympic bubble and all the structures been put in place. It's just not good enough because the Delta variant especially is so much more transmissible. It's really scary.
Yeah, and I'm reading here. It says many of the Japanese have grown weary of the largely voluntary restrictions, and some experts say that the government decision to go ahead with the Olympics sent a confusing message about the need to stay home. So, there is unhappy about having to follow the restrictions as we here are in the U.S., and that's starting to put a strain on their interest in following the rules.
Yeah. So on one hand, you got them saying this is serious. Stay home, but don't bother. We're going to go ahead and bring in the multi-billion-dollar industry known as the Olympics. And people from all over the globe are going to come to Tokyo, Japan, and the surrounding areas. When you got that going on there, we got record high cases in Florida, and then you have a country like New Zealand that banned all travel from Australia because they have a small spike in their area. They said, nope, we're shutting it all down. And then Tokyo's like, okay, everybody come here. You know what I mean? It's just a recipe for disaster. And I fear for the people of Japan that are going to be, especially the healthcare workers, are going to be overwhelmed rather quickly. Within the next week or two, they're going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's actually happening to a lot of places here in the U.S. right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like New Orleans had to put their mask mandates back up.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually considering how much of the coronavirus to put into the show.
I think South Dakota went back under a mask mandate as well. But Florida is the hot spot right now. It has thousands of cases a day, hundreds of deaths a day. Deaths are coming back. And this Delta variant is deadly for the unvaccinated. It is not deadly for the vaccinated. So you have this whole push, because I didn't have time to look up what Tokyo's vaccination rates are. But that'd be an interesting statistic to see. Let me Google that real quick.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Tokyo vaccination percentage. Okay, so yeah, on the NBCnews.com.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, where'd it go? Come on, computer. They have 126 million people in Tokyo, or I guess in Japan. Let's see here. Japan has fully vaccinated just a little more than 8% of its people. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. This article's this article's not up to date. Nope, let me go back.
I'm very glad to hear that 8% is that would be complete failure.
Yeah. Let me look this up. Vaccination rates as of July 1st. No. Let me go to my settings. Sorry, Spider-Man. This is gonna be a little bit of a chop up. I'm gonna put this in the past week, see if I can find it. Okay, so Team USA's athletes, 85%. The US rate is 57%. And then it says Tokyo. Oh no, that's the record. New record. Oh boy. Yeah, so mostly it's all about the new record. I can't find anything about the vaccination rates in Japan. Oh, Japan. I'm sorry. Japan vaccination percentage. Whew. Okay. As of Wednesday, 26% of the Japanese population has been fully vaccinated. The elderly have 70%. So, yeah. Japan has a very, very low vaccine rate of 26%. 1/4 are fully vaccinated, but luckily 70% of the seniors are vaccinated. But that's a recipe for disaster for the entire country of Japan. I'd say for airline workers, I'd say for restaurant waiters and wait staffs, healthcare providers, transportation people, vendors, handling money, debit cards, whatever, like this is a real catastrophe coming. Like you just see it coming. It's like you just see the train going towards the cliff, and there's a few people saying, wait, stop. That's it. It's pretty awful.
July 31st, 2021. New cases, 12,340 in Japan. 7-day average, 8,676.
Per day?
7-day average.
Ooh.
That's higher than it was Wednesday, I'm fairly certain, from what we were just reading.
No, that's for all of Japan, right?
Oh, for all of Japan, yeah.
Not Tokyo itself. Only Tokyo has 3,000.
Let me hone in there.
Mm-hmm.
See if they're doing better today.
Well, they won't have today's statistics till after midnight.
Pulled yesterday, technically.
Yeah, so Saturday's the latest numbers we can get.
4,058.
So it keeps going up. New records are being
Going
set.
up. Yep. It
And
did not
so-
stop going up.
Yeah, it's awful, man. So here we are in Tokyo. We are taking a giant healthcare shit on Tokyo. And then they're going to be overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Florida is saying we're going to make it illegal for mask mandates in high schools. Like, get the fuck out of here. Death sentence has got to go, man. He sucks.
That's really
Bass backwards.
insanity.
Mhm.
And he's kind of forcing parents who actually believe in this to homeschool.
Because what the opposite is true. The opposite is true. If you don't get vaccinated, you got to stay the fuck home.
Yeah, that's like literally infringing on their right to health and happiness.
And education.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's a whole nother article we could have covered tonight. About death sentence.
Yeah, there's a lot of really messed up people out there. It's a crazy world.
So think about it. In Florida, you have record infection rates again. Meanwhile, the governor is saying that if you make it illegal or if you make it mandatory mask mandates, he's going to personally withhold federal funding to your schools. Personally, I think he's full of shit because if he does that, he's going to get sued out the wazoo. That's all it's going to take. It's going to be sued out the wazoo. The people should be going crazy, saying, man, get him the hell out of here. He's going to put this state under financial peril with lawsuits. When kids start dropping like flies,
those lawsuits are doomed to fail too, which means they're frivolous. They're just a waste of taxpayer money. They're doomed to fail because anybody who looks at the statistics and facts would be like, yeah, that was a dumb move.
You can say it, Mia. But yeah, guys, that's what we're up against, man. We have record infection rates in Tokyo. Japan is going to be overwhelmed. Their healthcare system is going to be overwhelmed within the next month. We already know the story's going to come down the pike. We're ready for it. We already know what's going to happen. Florida's going to go through it here in the next couple of weeks. School's starting in a couple of weeks in Florida too, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how many deaths is it going to take.
Enough to swing the majority, actually. That's my guess.
How many kids got to die? How many teachers are going to have to die? How many nurses and physicians are going to have to die before they say, shit, I guess we were wrong? You know? Yeah, Bobby says here his Aussie friends can't even visit their friends, mask or no mask. Australia is 15% fully vaccinated, even though the people want to be vaccinated because Australia can't get enough vaccines. Yeah. That's another thing. We have too many because we don't have enough people that want to get it. They're fucking stupid. And then you have other countries that are begging for it.
And it's not exactly the easiest transport in the world either.
And that's a challenge in places that are very remote, like Australia, where the refrigeration requirements and stuff like that are pretty tough. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that, man. Tokyo, under fire, man. Spiking infection rates, over 4,000 cases a day now, or a 7-day average at least. And then they're all going to come back home. I think every single athlete should be quarantined for at least 2 weeks and they come back. It should be automatic, man.
That's a good idea. I don't know what they've got in place for. We should probably look into that a little later.
I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on that. Is what happens when they come back and they left the country that's the hot zone. Unless you're in Florida, it's just another day in the park, right? But yeah, screw death sentence in Florida. There, he's an asshole. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that in the comment section. While you're here, get a video like, hit the subscribe button if you've done it before, ring notification bells, and get alerts for upcoming videos. and we'll see you guys next time. And thanks for joining us. And go read a book. Perfect. All righty. So the next one, man, I can't believe Tokyo is going to be fucked, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that like, there's actually some economic fallout after the Olympics leave too, usually for the places as well. Like,
yeah.
There's some debate about the actual help of the games to economies.
Yeah, Nikolai says Delta in Florida will kill us. Okay, bye. Yeah, it's bad, man. I know three people now that I know that are active on TikTok and YouTube and stuff. They moved out of the state. They just left. And I don't
Kind
blame
of
them.
need to, like, for your survival. If you can afford to, you kind of need to. You can't justify staying.
The poor people get left behind to suffer once again.
Yeah, that's the way that it goes.
Okay, let's jump into the infrastructure one next, because that's a shorter one. We can keep it short and sweet. Flurry of activity, yes.
Yeah, I shortened it up a little bit because you had that little extra in. It's technically 2 articles merged together this time.
Yep.
The one you shared and then the one that I was looking at first. So I didn't put the link for the second one in there. Oops.
What translation server error is still open in China though, still, right? I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know what you mean, brother. That's confusing me. I don't know what that. Okay, I have no idea what that means. Yeah. Japan and China, they know how to protest, all right. They get out there. Florida is more people from California, New York moving here. The restaurant. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, who knows?
What?
I have no idea.
I'm lost.
There's a restaurant in China. Asked if it's still open. Server error. I don't know. But anyway, let's jump into the infrastructure one and let's knock it out. All right, guys. Let me see here. Let's see if we can change some minds tonight. What's up next on the low for us, Mia?
Well, tonight we're going to talk about a flurry of activity that's happening as the infrastructure bill works its way through the Senate. The Senate reconvened on Sunday to finalize legislative text and move forward with the $1 trillion spending plan for roads, rail lines, high-speed internet, and other infrastructure needs. It's one of President Biden's top legislative priorities. It would also be the largest investment in U.S. roads, bridges, ports, and transit in decades. It includes That was right. I did that right.
Good job.
It includes $550 billion in new spending, $450 billion in previously approved funds, and it would also provide money to replace lead water pipes and build a network of electric vehicle charging stations. So it's pretty sweeping.
I like that already.
Yeah, that's nice. But that's the one we really want. It's got the soft infrastructure as compared to the hard infrastructure. Or wait, no. My brain just fried. That made no sense. Forgive me. All right.
Yep. Moving on.
Yeah. You go ahead and say something about this.
Well, it also in this article, it says Senator John Tester, a Democratic negotiator on the legislation, told reporters that there is one potential holdup is a provision over wages. Democrats want to include a decades-old law that would require contractors to pay prevailing wages, usually higher and set by unions for all funded projects. And then you have Senator Susan Collins told CNN that she believed at least 10 Republicans will support the measure, enabling it to clear the 60-vote procedural hurdle. My hope is that we'll finish the bill by the end of the week. Of course, then there's fucking Joe Manchin. He told CBS's Face the Nation that another procedural vote was possible on Sunday, and he was expecting the bill to be passed by Thursday. So we'll see.
follow that up with some more Joe Manchin-y style phrases that I did not include in here because it was
yeah.
But Joe Manchin, he
Cat
basically said, as long as Democrats, don't try and mess it up with all their fancy spending and wanting to do good things for people.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the summation of Joe Manchin's problem with everything.
Well, it says here in the counts that senators so far had supported a shell version of legislation in procedural votes, including 66 to 29 margin on Friday that included 16 Republicans. The Senate voted 67-32 to begin debate on the measure, getting 17 Republicans to sign on, more than 10 needed to break the filibuster.
So it's uphill. It's rolling uphill.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing the rolling.
Well, that just goes to show you the original proposal was like $3.2 trillion. And it's down to $1 trillion, and they got enough Republicans get on vote. So guys, that's how this works, right? They say we want to spend $3 trillion. They're like, hell no, a half. Then they go up to 1 trillion. Okay, good enough. Let's go. Like it's typical. But $1 trillion to help get high speed high speed rails, and not high speed, just fixing the rails, getting rid of the lead pipes, which is a good idea, of course, and charging stations for electric cars. I'm 100% on board with that. It doesn't benefit me directly, but it does benefit us indirectly. So I like some of the premises. I don't know enough about the whole bill. And of course, this is a shell. There's nothing really hammered out details. That leaves room for Manchin and dumbasses like that to nickel and dime on the edges. It'll probably be $500 billion before it's all over. Who knows? That's what I'm afraid of. But with these numbers, they're going to debate it on the floor. We'll see what comes of that. I just lack any kind of hope anymore, because we've been thoroughly let down by this flaccid response to the challenges. It's just a bunch of impotent old men can't get their shit together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but if it goes through, think of the spending and the jobs it could create. This could be a good job creating bill that hopefully will help stimulate the economy. But we're in a bad way where even if this passes, we go to COVID lockdown. Guess what? None of that shit's getting built. We got to get COVID under control first.
Yeah, Fauci did say. Man, I'm not going to say his name right any of the times I try to. Thank you. Did say that he doesn't think we're going to end up back under lockdown.
Yeah.
But you what?
I think he's silly.
You think he's silly?
Mm-hmm.
You think that we're going to end up back in lockdown?
I think we should be in one right now.
I agree. We should be.
We should be in one right now. I don't know, man. If it doesn't get stopped, if it doesn't get flattened the curve by the time we start school, it's fucking game over. It's going to get a full head of steam. I mean, the kids in school, some places aren't going to be required to wear them, for crying out loud. So,
and then mutations on mutations on mutations until
there's a Lambda one going on that they said that one's pretty bad too. So I don't know if the infection rates go up and we shut down all work, this spending bill, it's pointless. It really is. If we don't take care of the COVID pandemic, it's none of this really matters in the end if there's no one available to work. This
is gonna be nuts.
Yeah. If we shut it down again, and my two youngest kids are gonna be seniors in high school this year. My one son said if they have mask mandates in high school again, he's probably not gonna go bother going back to public school. He'll go homeschool and say to hell with it. He goes, I'd rather stay home with no mask on than go there. But he's vaccinated too, so
yeah, as long as that continues to hold out as an option.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have an infrastructure bill that's got pretty damn good promise, about $1 trillion. I'm not happy to hear that number being spent, but it's actually only $500 billion new spending, right? So I mean, it's as good as it's going to get right now. We got to spend the money to fix the system because our infrastructure has been decades, man, decades.
You know, there's an argument that we should be doing like pretty much all of our spending right now. And we should care a lot less about building up a deficit because right now we have historic low interest rates on the money we borrow out.
Yep.
So in the future, when interest rates rise, we may not be able to borrow at these rates. So now is the time to build debt and then later worry about debt.
Well, and that's what's scary is there's going to be that bubble. The housing bubble is coming. It's a real crisis coming. The market is going to take a shit. Interest rates are going to drop again. But eventually they're going to come back up. And then we're going to be in a real pickle. But yeah, so I just like you're saying, the time to spend is now because there's no other way. We have neglected our infrastructure for probably 40 years, and now they're crumbling. Like where I live at, they've taken out 3 bridges in a row and put up brand new bridges because they had to. They couldn't even fix them. They're just like, fuck it, got to knock them all down, building it, which is not cost effective. And it's super long delays, man. For my job with doing home care, it makes me drive all over Kingdom Come, going around these delays, But I'd love to see an infrastructure bill get through, and that will help the midterms, I think, to say Biden, say, listen, we got it done. We got to get COVID under control. We got the vaccines rolled out. But that's the biggest challenge is jobs and the economy.
Yeah, Biden needs to push for another stimulus check before the general, or not before the general, before the midterms too, I think. I don't think he will, but I think he needs to.
There's no pressure on that. There's no pressure on him now for that.
I know there's not, but there's people literally being thrown into the streets right now.
Yeah.
So the pressure is going to build, I hope,
he won't. I don't think he's going to do another stimulus check. It's going to be stimulus to the owners of the homes. It's going to be to the Black Rocks, these real estate moguls that own apartment complexes, bail them out and not the people. You know what I mean? That's what's happened in the past. They'll do it again. All these banks that own everything and these investment groups, venture capitalist groups and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, that won't work. And the midterms will fail terribly if that's the case.
It's possible. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that in the comment section, man. Are you for or against the infrastructure bill as it is written right now, which is very vague, but it's pretty much $500 billion more spending than budgeted from last year. So that, without that being said, it is what it is. But while you're here, of course, get a video like, hit the subscribe button, ring notification bells, get alerts for upcoming videos. And thanks for joining us. And like always, go read a book. Perfect. Okay. So that's that. So we got the AOC one about the eviction moratorium. And then we got the GPI one about the economic analysis.
I like that one for our Yang Gang audience.
Okay, yeah, let's do the GPI one then next. Cool. So that is kind of like the American scorecard.
Mm-hmm. Very similar.
Let's look at the comments here. DRS says Yang should advise Biden to tax automation to fund UBI. I don't think Biden's picking up the phone from a guy that lost 2 elections, honestly. I'm just going to be real with you guys. I don't think Yang has any clout whatsoever with the Biden administration right now. I just don't think it's happening. Like it or not, that's the reality of it. He'd probably reach out to Stringer. Or not Stringer. What's that guy that won the New York primary? Adams. There we go. So I think we'll see nothing from Andrew Yang for a while. He needs to just back up, reassess, and rededicate himself in a certain direction. We'll find out in this basic income march. If he shows up for the basic income marches in like New York, that'd be cool. I'm going to go to the one, just so you guys know, basic income. I'm going to be doing an interview, a live stream with Stacy Rutland on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe, to talk about the UBI march or the basic income march. I'm going to be possibly going to Nashville, Tennessee, which is like it's like a 7-hour drive, 8-hour drive. But that's the big one there. It's the closest one to me, honestly. Unfortunately. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about getting that back up to snuff here, because I did the Medicare for All March last weekend, and I'm gonna go to the Basic Income March and next month. We got about 7 weeks from now. I think it's September 24th, but it's a whole month, or a whole week. I'm sorry, but yeah, so we'll see what Stacy says about that, and it'd be nice to see Andrew and of course Scott Santons and all the like of them, get out there and help get this back on the front page, if you will, of saying, hey man, remember the stimulus checks? That kind of helped, you know. But I want to see more data too. Did you get your child tax credit yet?
I certainly did.
Out fucking standing.
I absolutely did.
That's awesome.
And it's, man, part of the reason why we were able to get, we got a car.
Oh, yes.
We got a car. There's a car. It's a 2018.
Whoa.
Yeah. Very happy with it. Very happy.
Budget an actual asset that helps the family get around. That's awesome, man. That's congratulations, Mia.
Oh, and Tristan was so happy to ride in the car. He's been asking for it for a long time. Between COVID and his behaviors, he hasn't been able to go to school for a long time. And without us having a car, that basically means that he's been stuck in the house. Mm-hmm. He's not going to vax.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to get him to sit still to do it until they have like a method. He's not going to vax.
He's not good with shots?
Oh, no. Gosh, no. Imagine having to fight with he's a foot and a half taller than anybody. He doesn't care about whether he hurts you or not. And trying to get out. He's not careful with you. If you're doing something he doesn't want you to do to him, he is gonna flip the frick out.
It's almost like you want to let him fall asleep, run over and go and just run out of the room and close the door.
Yeah,
we can really do it.
They have to knock him out to give him dental work. Like literally knock him out. Any sort of surgery, knocked out.
Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking about doing a panel on a Monday here, maybe in end of August or early September, maybe the week before the basic income march, something, and get people together to talk about how the CTC has affected them directly.
Yeah.
Poor kids need to be heard and say, hey man, now imagine this was $1,000 a month for everyone. I mean, come on, man. That would that give you guys $2 more thousand a month in your home.
That would be
actually going to be okay.
Like we're doing so much better right now than we have in over a decade.
Right.
That kind of help would, doing that bad for over a decade, there's a lot of back problems that we can't deal with. That we couldn't deal with.
Right.
That now we have to try to. Probably a good $10,000-$20,000 in repairs that we're going to have, that at the moment we can start approaching, but it's a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
The more boosts we can get, the sooner I can get the wiring redone in this house so that, maybe I don't have to worry as much that one day I'm going to wake up and it's going to be on fire.
Yeah.
Because this is an old house and the wiring fritzes all the time.
Oh boy.
I hear strange crackles just randomly. That's not safe.
Yeah, that's scary. Okay, but yeah, I definitely want to do that in the future. So let's keep that on the back burner.
That's a good one. Sorry to ramble like that.
No. This is between men. It's what we do. This is fine. And we're being very fucking efficient. 34 minutes. We got 2 done. We're getting better, guys. Okay, so let's knock on the next one, which is the GPI. What does that stand for? Genuine progress indicator. Okay. All right, guys, let's see if we can change some more minds tonight. What's up next on the low, Mia?
Well, tonight we're going to talk a little bit more about the guaranteed income bill, and we're going to focus in on the GDP alternative legislation being introduced by Representative Omar. And we are, man, I phrased that poorly. I need a sec.
You're okay.
Okay. Tonight we're going to be talking about how Representative Ilhan Omar is introducing guaranteed income bill and a GDP alternative legislation. Introducing the Sending Unconditional Payments to People Overcoming Resistance to Triumph Act, or support, and the Genuine Progress Indicator Act. The bills will create a grant program to fund local income pilots and implement a national guaranteed income program, as well as establish a new economic metric to measure well-being. The Genuine Progress Indicator Act will provide an alternative economic metric to supplement GDP calculations and revamp our economic. Man.
That's all right.
The Genuine Progress Indicator. One more time so I don't laugh in the middle of it. That seems like it would be unfair to Spider.
Yes.
The Genuine Progress Indicator Act will provide an alternative economic metric to supplement GDP calculations and revamp our economic policy lenses. It will include items such as socioeconomic and environmental costs and benefits of economic productivity. And it's co-sponsored by Representatives Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, Dwight Evans, Pramila Jayapal, and Marie Newman.
I love it.
It is.
And the Support Act as well. Both of those are co-sponsored by the same people there.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's kind of a joint effort. One that I think that Omar probably feels it's really important that we have this change in the indicator before we start these basic income programs, so that way we can actually track the kind of changes we're looking for, which currently we don't really have a method of doing, I think, officially in that sense.
Well, and like we were talking off air, was this GPI sounds like she heard a Yang speech about the American scorecard. It doesn't include everything that Andrew does, like suicide rates, mental health, depression, stuff like that. But it has a different variety of indicators nonetheless, not just GDP. And the nice thing is it's got a basic income, and it's got measurements for other environmental stuff and benefits of the productivity with environmental costs, socioeconomic environmental costs. But the biggest thing is this bill, both these bills are endorsed by the African Career Education Resource Incorporated, Center for Sustainable Economy, Color of Change, Human Rights Watch, Our Revolution, Shriver Center on Poverty Law, Black Women's Wealth Alliance, the Institute on Race and Political Economy, Universal Income Project, and many, many more. So the idea that this is bringing those terms, normalizing those terms within all these communities, all these groups are normalizing the idea of a universal basic income or guaranteed income as a necessary step in all their policies. It solves several things at once. So I like the fact that it's normalizing guaranteed income again across the board. So this will help anyone that's running on this type of platform in the future to have more momentum going forward.
I like the approach. I don't know how much you've read of how these support acts actually going to be implemented, but the approach to start before they actually fully scale out the federal program is to send money for pilots to local communities to distribute, to test and see first how and what focuses and ways to use it best. And then have that data analyzed and build off of that. So it's not just like we're going to just try whatever, throw it at the fan, and if it fails, we'll blame the policy. They're going to actually research, target, and try and make it work before implementing it. So that way it has its best chance of being, productive and getting the results they needed to get to continue. And I need to go get the door.
Well, let's read Bobby's thing. The establishment is corrupt right now. The problem with fighting the establishment is twofold, maybe more. First, you cannot kill the establishment, tear it down, and it just resurrects itself. Currently, yeah. But again, guys, this is a great thing about normalizing it, you know? And let me know if any of you guys are going to be able to make it to a basic income march. That'd be cool. If any of you guys come to Nashville, I'm going to be there. If you go to New York, Russell from Grassroots Yang Gang and him and his wife are trying to make it there. They're doing a funding things. They don't have the money to just up and go from Vermont to New York and stay for the weekend. But yeah, if anyone can make it to a basic income march, please let me know. And if you're there, let me know. If you're in Nashville, definitely let me know. I want to hook up. But I'd love to get everyone. What I'd like to do is when we're doing a basic income march, is I could be in StreamYard and have someone from New York, have someone from Atlanta, someone from Texas, someone from California, wherever it is, right? 10 people at the same time, all in one place. And then you know where you can go look at, because all the streams will have links in the description box. You can find out who's where. And that'd be fun to bring up one person at a time and just, I could do that from my phone while we're live. Like that'd be a really cool thing about restreaming here.
Kind of like a New Year's coverage thing, but for that's cool. I like that.
Or even like what do I call it? Yeah, I guess that like the Olympic coverage. You know, there's you know, again, the Trickle Up website will have them all. So that would be the Netflix of politics. We have to keep pushing that idea. But yeah, I'm not sure where we left off. Oh yeah, the GPI one pager part. So yeah, so the way this thing is going to be ran out is, no later than 180 days after the bill's enactment, the Bureau of Economic Analysis and the Department of Commerce shall establish a GPI metric as a viable economic measure. It will measure the holistic economic well-being of households. Again, that sounds like American Scorecard, which is good with me. The GP must be used in economic and budgetary reporting of relevant federal agencies and offices in the Executive, Federal Reserve, and Congress. Examples of affected offices and agencies include the Congressional Budget Offices, an annual report on the budget of an economic outlook, the President's annual budget request compiled by the Office of Management and Budget, and many more. Congress shall appropriate as much funds as necessary for the BEA to establish this new metric for federal implementation within the timeline set forth in this act. I don't like the wording of that, personally. So say, give them as much as you want. This is a place for it to get kind of dirty, get kind of murky. I don't like the wording of that personally, but nonetheless, she's saying this is how important this is, which I do agree with. It is important. But to say a blank check isn't a smart way to put it, because that gives them a talking point from the right. That's about all I can say about that.
Well, I can say it'd probably be the first thing to be chucked as a sacrifice.
Yeah,
to getting it to happen. It's one of those things where maybe it's intentionally an overreach, so that way, you know, you've got an item or two to chopping block in your negotiations.
Sacrificial lambs. Yeah. Well, it's all about the negotiation, of course, but it's a great bill. And again, I think she's looking at it from the right lens, from a humanity first kind of lens. And I like it.
Oh yeah, she's been great throughout pretty much all of this.
There hasn't been my radar.
There hasn't been a step she's taken I haven't agreed with personally.
Imagine if she ran for president someday. A Muslim black woman, president of the United States. People, the MAGA, their head will explode, like literally explode.
Oh yeah.
The racists, the bigots, the xenophobes, explosions. Sharia law's coming. Look how I can just imagine.
She's amazing, though. We couldn't do better.
She's doing some good things. She's got some problem areas too that I've identified in the past where there's been some money laundering type of corruption shit going on within the people around her. Yeah, she's had some things come up, but it's fucking politics, man. They all get people around each other are always jockeying for position, looking for money. Unfortunately, that's U.S. politics, man. Well, it's probably worldwide too, but specifically here, yeah. But
we made it
nobody's
legal
perfect
here in a lot of ways. So, people are particularly bold. When they're committing the illegal stuff, they're like, well, this isn't so far from what would be legal anyways.
Mm-hmm. But nobody's perfect. And if you're looking for a perfect candidate, good luck. You're going to hate politics in America because that's just the way it is. But I think it's a great bill, 2 bills, the GPI one and the Support Act. But the Support Act is about the unconditional payments. What is it? Yeah. And that will work towards a guaranteed income at a local and national level. And what I also liked about this, also to add into here, it established a new office in the Treasury Department to manage and coordinate guaranteed income policies at the federal level. So again, I think she's laying the ground for UBI like a motherfucker, like nobody else has. Nobody.
And the thing to remember here, when you're looking at it, it may not be a UBI itself, but if you have an office for a basic income, then you have a person you can specifically petition to try and get these policies pushed forward, as opposed to it going to senators or Congress people who don't really understand it, who you need to convince every single one of them. If you've got a policy department that's crafting policy, that's where you can push your focus. You don't have to try and hit all 50 senators at once.
Right.
Or whatnot.
I really hope Ilhan Omar comes to a basic income march somewhere.
50 states, I didn't mean 50 senators.
100. Yeah, it's cool. But still, nonetheless, 50 is too many. 100 is even worse. Yeah, gotta get rid of. Yeah. So first, you get a guaranteed income. So the difference between guaranteed income and universal basic income. Guaranteed income, it says there's a guaranteed amount, a set amount for a set length of time and a time period. So it's means tested and length restricted. Universal basic income means there's no means testing for in perpetuity. But guaranteed income is a huge step in the right direction. So we get that, and then we say, what's good for the goose is good for the ganders. Then everybody else will get theirs, I have no problem with me not ever getting it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the one that needs it most. Like, I have no problem right now if it's guaranteed for someone that makes less than X amount, like $40,000 a year or something. Fuck yeah, man. Give it to them first. I'm okay with that. And I understand why Republicans oppose universal basic income. I understand their idea is like, a person like me shouldn't get it. I agree with them a little bit, but it's not about me. It's about the entire system. That's why I support universal policies, period, because it destigmatizes them. And there's no othering.
The biggest thing for me about it being universal, and the argument I think is probably the most profound from the left side, is the elimination of cracks people can fall through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's so many hoops and conditions put on stuff right now. I can see how if you don't make it unconditional, you're going to tell somebody who deserves it they don't, even though they do.
Well, yeah, all means testing is meant to exclude. That's it. And so to me, that's the problem. All means testing excludes people. And of course, there's people that fall through the crack for whatever reason, and they're left out shit out of luck. So I'm still a universalist when it comes right down to it. I just support all universal programs, universal healthcare, housing, college, food, resources, all of it, but hey guys, we need to be Ilhan Omar's biggest cheerleaders right now. We need to prop her up, push her up. We should do a damn trend on Twitter. Like, thank you, Ilhan, something. Because he deserves significant credit. This is a bold thing to do. Bold. And she gathered other people. It's not just her saying it. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene says stupid shit and writes a bill and no one gives a shit. It's dumb and it's ineffective. No one supports it. Ilhan's doing all his work behind the scenes. Like I said, that long list of people that support this, endorse the bill before she even got it on the fucking floor. They already on board with it. So she seems to be a very skilled politician and policy writer. So let her run for president. I will be a stan. And I'm an atheist. I will support a Muslim candidate. I don't care what her religion is. Doesn't got nothing to do with it. She's writing policies for everybody, not for Christians, not for Muslims, not for anybody else, right? So
she's
I'm
creating an infrastructure for it. That's the important thing. We have ground we can claim in Congress, in our Constitution, in our laws, if we can get this passed.
Here's my question, though, about that bill. Is those 5 people that support it, that co-sponsored it, what the hell's wrong with the rest of them? Like Jamal Bowman, Corey Bush, Dwight Evans, Pramila Jayapal, and Marie Newman. That's only 5. What the hell's wrong with the rest of them? That's my problem. Like, I would even go on to Twitter and say, let's have a list of people that should be on board. Elizabeth Warren. Let's see who should be on board with it. AOC. All the squad. All of them. All Democrats, period, should be put on blast for not co-sponsoring. This should have 100 people co-sponsoring it.
It really should.
You know, so
we can get them on there.
Yep. Now I got to find out who the hell this Newman lady is, and Newman and Dwight Evans. I got to look these people up to say thank you very much. You know, and also this shit. But again, this shows you she's doing some skillful shit behind the scenes. So guys, Ilhan Omar is officially on my radar. Is like she could make a run. I mean, I would. Oh man.
I'd also like to note that there's a lot of cool tools for sending your support along to Congress through Income Movement.
Yep.
Very helpful resource. Explore it for more than just this. There's tons of information and ways to help push UBI if that's your passion. You know, if stopping people from, you know, going homeless or not being able to feed themselves is something that sounds like a good idea to you, Income Movement has some great resources for contacting.
Absolutely.
And we will also be doing a UBI update story on this tomorrow on Clubhouse.
Tomorrow.
So,
8 p.m. Eastern, right? 8 p.m. Eastern?
8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So if you want to be part of a conversation about this, if you're watching this and you're like, wow, I got a lot to say, but they're not putting me up on the screen there.
Yes.
Or I've just got more to say than would fit in a little tiny text box. Come join us after we do the presentation. There will be open discussion.
Yep. Clubhouse, guys. UBI at UBI updates, which is in the basic income club, right?
Yes, sir.
But I'll tell you guys right now, the way to do Clubhouse, you go into Clubhouse and you type in Yang Gang in the search bar. Boom, it'll bring up everybody has Yang Gang in their description. You type in basic income or UBI, it brings in everybody's part of that, right? So it's a good way to find people on there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, guys, I would love to hear more about this from all you guys in the comments section. What do you think about Ilhan Omar being the G that's going to step up and be like, I got this? Here's 2 bills. One about guaranteeing income payments to people. And another one is pretty much Andrew Yang's. It's like Andrew Yang light version of the American scorecard. See, let's measure how we're doing holistically in the homes. How are people doing? Mia's doing better because of a CTC, the child tax credit, helped her and her husband provide for their kids 100%, got a goddamn car, man. How awesome is that? That indicator is going up.
I'll tell you something else too. Just being able to plan, it's one that's going to give you better decision making in the long run anyways. Like one of the things they say about being in poverty is you make less good decisions. I think you have less good decisions you can make because you're making them spur of the moment as opposed to being able to plan for them. So you're stuck with your car breaks down. You can't plan to go get it repaired before it broke down.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't afford to get it repaired before there was a problem. You couldn't have it checked up on. So, the emergency comes, and then you go with whoever has the money or whoever has the ability to take your money at the time to fix it because you need it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing.
Well, and in extreme poverty, guys, the decisions are made for you. You don't get the choices, man.
And the other thing, and this is a big one for why I think that some of the studies are now starting to show that it actually increases employment. Like there were a couple places where people started going back to work at higher rates.
Right.
My husband, before the CTC even came in, and my son both started working because they felt like there was hope. There was, a plan they could place around. When you can make plans.
Yeah. And not let the plans make you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can get around things. You can, if there's something that's in your way of doing something, you can find a way to work around it if you have the resources to do so.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important to remind people that you need to be invested in.
And that's something else, guys. We have to fight to get the CTC extended past December 31st. This all comes to an end December 31st this year. It's only for 6 months, man. Now, if we can get this in perpetuity, at least for another year. Another year. That'd be huge. Fucking
It'd
huge.
be amazing.
Yeah.
For so many families. I know it's not everyone, and it needs to be everyone, but we don't want to lose ground either.
Mm-mm.
You don't want to complain too much and lose what you got. You want to build on it. The CTC credits, if we have UBI, shouldn't disappear. They should still be there on top of a UBI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that, in Ilhan Omar's plan, it says that in the, where'd it go? The Support Act will create a guaranteed income program of $1,200 a month for adults, also $600 a month for kids. So that will replace the child tax credit and go straight to just $600 a month for your kids.
Basically the same thing as keeping making a UBI for adults and then adding kids. Yes, but more.
But more, more resources to get. Like if I was younger and my kids were younger, if I was still married with 4 kids, that's $2,400 plus $2,400.
I think it caps out at 3 currently for the CTC though.
No, I'm saying for the thing that she's proposing here, it's $600 a month for kids.
Okay, for the support one, not for the CTC. Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. So like, if I could have gotten $4,800 a month, man, guys, you don't understand. We all know how much money that is. That's more than I bring home right fucking now. But I'm only a single person too, so it's different. But if it's just me and 2, still that's $1,200 plus $1,200 is $2,400 a month, and additional resources. I could help my girls get their first car without having to work a second job. I could get new clothes. I could get new clothes. I get new clothes for Christmas and my birthday. Twice a year I get new clothes, and that is it, guys. I've had this shirt about 5 damn years, if not 6 or more. The same old shirts, man. I keep it real simple around here. But we could, like you said, Mia, the outlook is brighter. Mental health improves. Depression goes down. Nutrition goes up.
And the thing about
patterns go up.
Depression is it can make problems that actually exist in you worse. So it's not just like you feel depressed, you don't want to do anything. Say you have a legitimate back problem or something. It's going to feel worse if you have depression.
Mm-hmm.
When you're feeling depressed about things, your medical problems feel...
It's heavier.
It's heavier. It's a heavier burden.
For sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, things that you could get over, not really over, but you can build the willpower to push through things if you feel like it's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you have those resources, you can afford to fail. You can afford. That's the difference between rich people and poor people. I can't afford to fail, guys. If I fail, I'm fucked. Like, I'm seriously fucked. And there's no joke about that, man. Like, I always tell people, I'm one medical emergency from homelessness. If I break my femur and it's not at work, then it's short-term disability. I'm getting 60% of my base pay. Oh, man. I can't afford my house anymore.
And that's messed up. And that's another reason for unconditional.
Right.
You never know when you're going to be the person whose income suddenly just fell out from under them. And do you want to have to be jumping through hoops then? Or do you want to just have something you can fall back on until things get better?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I just love this policy of hers. I'm going to become one of the biggest fucking stands of Ilhan Omar right now. I think she is by far doing the most with the least amount of support too. The right fucking hates her guts. They hate every breath she takes. Did you see the death threat she posted on Twitter?
I've
She
seen
posted some death threats, and so did Cori Bush. She posted like 12 death threats that she got, all screenshots. Like, this is what they're up against, and this is the thanks they get. Like, again, Cori Bush is on the steps of Congress right now, living on the sidewalk. Because she's been homeless before, she said. She lived in her car with 2 kids while she couldn't figure out housing and shit. She lost her job, you know what I'm saying? Before she became a congressperson. Think about that, guys. That's what's beautiful about this country. She's a perfect example of someone that was homeless less than 5 years ago, living in a car with her 2 kids. And now she's at Congress going, where the fuck did everybody go? They're on vacation? They're on vacation.
Don't elect people who haven't struggled. That's pretty much the end of that. You know, that's, if you haven't struggled, you don't understand what the hell that means.
Yeah.
You might think you do. You might have empathy for people who do, but you haven't lived it.
It's from a distance, you know. But I'll give Elizabeth Warren some credit. She showed up with her today. But I don't know if it's genuine. I'm suspicious of her being genuine, but she's there. No one else is even trying to be genuine. So big props to Ilhan Omar. Big props to Cori Bush. Big props to fucking Elizabeth Warren, who I'm not a big fan of. But you know, they're doing the job. And again, guys, this is all women we're talking about. Who's leading this country right now? It's fucking women doing it. They're getting the job done. So,
oh gosh.
Think about that. 3 women are showing up right now when everybody else is on vacation. But also Nancy Pelosi's on vacation, telling the CDC to do their jobs. Phew. She's bad news. But anyway.
Nancy's so freaking weird.
Yeah.
There's time, like...
She sucks, man. Nancy Pelosi sucks.
Yeah, she does.
She's a career politician, which means she's a career corrupt politician, as far as I'm concerned. So
she's really confusing, too, just in general.
Yeah, she's wishy-washy. Well, she's one of the people, she wakes up in the morning and goes, which way's the wind blowing? I'm going to go that way. That's just who she is. She's just like Biden that way, too. Biden's go with the flow, except for withdrawal of troops. I'll say he's actually stood up to him and actually doing it. I'm happy about that. But
they're complaining their asses off about it, though.
Yeah, that's a separate topic. But yeah, guys, go ahead and let us know about let us know what you think about that in the comment section. And you know, give us thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think about Ilhan's proposals? And we'll see you guys next time. And thanks for joining us. And go read a book. All right, 10:09. How efficient are we tonight?
We did real good so far. I think though that I do need to call it for the moment.
Yeah, we got 3 done. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the AOC one in the first place. It's more the framing of it. Yep. I like the discussion on the moratorium is very important, but the best article I could find with the best take was the AOC one, and it's still kind of, you know.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow night tomorrow night we're going to be doing a panel discussion with some of my TikTok activist friends. We're going to be talking about the Support Act and the moratorium tomorrow on our panel too. So it kind of works out.
Good.
We're going to go in depth. We're going to go in depth on this shit. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, Mia. We're going to do some more. So again, tomorrow, UBI updates, 8 p.m. Eastern on Clubhouse, guys. And then do you have any more hangs coming up this week?
Tuesday and Friday, as always.
Tuesday and Friday. And you always put them on Twitter, right?
I try to always put them on Twitter. I think I might have missed it last week because I spent a lot of time napping.
Well, just make sure you want to be on the up and up with the hangs. Follow her on Twitter and put the notification bells on for her tweets. So you'll see when she says, hey, we're going live in 5, man. Bam, here's the link. Jump in. You're good to go. That's how I always catch up with most stuff that way. So, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you later, Mia. All right, let's go ahead and kill this thing.